Hey everyone, so what are we doing in today's video? Some real exciting stuff. We're going to be replacing or repairing my battery array for my solar system up at my barn. Now, it's very small. These are just four 12 volt batteries that I have set up on 3 solar panels. It works pretty well. For the last 2 years it worked, and then I noticed last week I was up there at night and none of the lights were turning on. So I went and checked, the batteries were very low at like 4 volts, so pretty much kind of dead. I went ahead and repaired, or I have one of these little chargers. It's some cheap version of a battery charger, but it works pretty well. And I did a repair cycle on them all. It discharges and then recharges them all up. And then went ahead and got them all set up. Now, I have to replace one of the batteries with a new battery that I had laying around because it won't hold a charge. So what you want to see on these is 12.6 volts on mainly most batteries. If you don't get 12.6 volts, that means it's starting to degrade, and that's going to be a problem. So let me show you guys this real quick. So that one's 12.913. This one is 12.8. This one is 12.7. And this new one, which hasn't been charged in forever, is rocking 12.8. So once this battery starts getting below 12.6 or 12.2, that's when it's starting to really not hold a charge, and you're going to start having problems, and they're going to just degrade faster and faster. So I ended up taking these away from the barn. They're obviously really dirty. There's a lot of dust that gets kicked up at the barn. And there was a bunch of mice nests behind here and on top of here, and they were chewing the wires. So we're going to replace the wires. They were just like some 10 gauge wires, pretty thin. This size, basically. We're going to replace those with some 4 gauge wires. So we're going to go a little bit more heavy duty on this. You don't really need to do this, but I want to do it because I just want to do it. And it's going to be better for the whole system. First thing, what we're going to do is clean these up because they're dirty and they just need to be cleaned. And you can just use water. You're not going to hurt yourself or electrocute yourself or anything like that. Just wash them off real quick, and they're clean, or clean enough. They don't need to be perfect. They just need to be, you want the dirt and dust and grime off of the terminals here. You don't want them to be dirty as you're making your connection. We're doing all the work down at the house because it's much easier to do this on a table near a bunch of tools and all that stuff, rather than be up in my barn where there's no power or anything like that. And it's just, like I said, it's just easier. So we're going to do it down here. All we're going to do is build the wire harness here for the batteries, and then we're going to bring that up to the barn and install it all up there. We're putting these batteries in parallel as opposed to series. If we were in series here, it would be something like 48 volts, and my system isn't set up for that. It's just set up for 12 volts. So we're going to keep it in parallel, make it pretty easy. And then we're just going to use this nice thick wire, make it look a little bit better and kind of more rat proof, because the rats did chew through, or mice, whatever you want to call them, they did chew through one of these wires, which caused a problem, which caused the batteries to drain and get kind of weak, and then the solar panels wouldn't charge them up. So that's what we're doing. I brought them down here, put them on the charger. I'm going to fix it now. I'm kind of just eyeballing this, and I'll show you guys here in the end. I'll explain it a little bit better why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. Alright, now that they're cut, we're just going to strip back a little bit here. And I don't have the appropriate size because these are pretty thick, but you can use one of these, just kind of make it work. And we're going to kind of measure how much we want in here and go from there. We got everything cut. The problem is that this wire is way too thick for these connectors. One will fit in there pretty okay, kind of snug, but the problem is that I need to fit 2 wires in here. So what I'm going to do is 8 gauge would have been the way to go instead of 4 gauge. You live, you learn. I don't have it right now on me, so I'm just going to use these. So what we're going to do is we're just going to trim half this back. It's not a big deal. You can do that. It's not recommended, but of course, you work with what you got. We've got them all cut down to size, so now we're going to kind of put them together, and it's pretty easy. Just grab your connector and unravel these and kind of entwine them the best you can. and then just slide it in there as deep as it'll go, and then clamp it down. Now I just got a pair of these weird plier things that might work, might not. Good enough. We got the wires done, and this is what they look like. And it's pretty simple. It's just one wire with 4 little lugs on there, terminals, connectors, whatever you want to call them, and then an extra one. This is going to plug into our solar battery charger, and this is what's going to give us power from the solar panels. So the way this is, you hook up in parallel is you go positive, 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 and then negative are all connected to each other. And then you have a positive coming from one side and a negative coming from one side, and that goes into your charger. Now if you wanted to put these in series, you would go negative to positive, negative to, it'd be a little bit different, but with 2 batteries you would go negative to positive, and then you'd have a negative going off here and a positive going off here to your solar charger. If you do more batteries in series, it really depends on how you do it, but every time you hook up a 12 volt, 12 volt, 12 volt, if you hook up 3 of them in series, that's 36 volts. But here's the wires. I didn't have the proper heat shrink, so I just used electrical tape, and I only had red, so I think it looks all right. But heat shrink and electrical tape work the same, just heat shrink looks a little bit nicer and cleaner. So see you at the barn. We're just going to hook it up. Here's the solar charge controller. It's pulling in 19 volts right now, which is fine. It's not going anywhere, it's just dissipating. So what we'll do is we'll hook all these up, and just be careful not to touch this to this. It's not a good thing to do, so just, you know, kind of just be careful. So we're just going to grab a board or something to set over top of here. Just, I don't know, it'll help. I really don't feel like shorting out these or sparking anything here. So we're going to start at this end, and we're going to work our way over to the left. And I just picked up a little bag of screws, just something that'll work. You can use all kinds of stuff. Now these batteries did come with screws and lock washers and all that good stuff. I tossed them out a long time ago because I plan on using something like this, but or something different, but it happens. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hook this up, and they're not going to be extremely tight because it's going to be hard to get in here with a screwdriver, but we'll make it happen. We'll make it work. Alright, so it's not perfect, but it looks a lot better than it did. You can kind of see it there. And I'm going to tighten these up after I put on the negatives. Alright, we finally got the batteries hooked up. We're going to go ahead and hook them up to the solar charger and see what they're reading. Got my meter up. I'm going to show you guys what it's supposed to look like whenever you have everything hooked up. See if you guys can read that. Probably not. Whatever. So I'll tell you what it says once we hook these up, or shoot these wires real quick. So we got positive, we got negative, and it's reading 12.79. So it's just an average across all 4 of them. And that's what you want to see. Very easy. So we got to trim these wires up. We left them pretty long because we didn't know how long they, how far away they had to be. So I'm going to measure them and then trim them up to length. And it's just going to go up to here. So I don't want too much slack, but I don't want, I want to leave a little bit of give. So somewhere around there will be fine. So when you see a little smiley face here, it's usually a good sign. You're getting power, photosynthetic energy coming in from the solar panels, hitting the battery. Battery's going out to the switch, which is here. but something's wrong in here, so I just have them straight up set up to the battery. And what we'll do is you can cycle through this. It tells you how many amps are being pulled. Right now there's nothing going to that because it's not hooked up. How much is charging, how much is going to, I don't know what that is exactly. I like to just keep it on this one right here. And then there's a way to turn this on and off. There's a switch. There it is. Alrighty, so let's go turn on some lights and see if it works. Hopefully it does. If not, well, back to the drawing board. It's working pretty well. This little light will light up this whole coop pretty well. Hard to see standing in the light, but it's there. I got about 5 or 6 chickens in here. They're all blue coppers. Again, it's hard to see because it's pretty light in here. And they lay some pretty cool eggs, you know. Yeah, it's lighting up pretty well. I'll monitor the situation here for the next couple of weeks to see if anything changes out here as far as the lighting. But I think it worked out pretty well, and the setup's not bad. You know, it's something easy for a little quick fix. We plan on eventually getting real power out here, and we already talked to the electric company. We just gotta get some other stuff done before that. It looks pretty good. I like it a lot better than what it was looking before. Nice thick wires. These are just these need to be trimmed down, but I kept them long just in case I wanted to put the solar panels on the roof. And then solar panels are over here, just leaning up on the ground, and they're fine. They get enough sun. They're right over there. And then most of my electric runs over to the middle of the barn, and it looks like it's just like a little distribution box and then a timer set up for like nighttime situation around 5 o'clock. So right here, distribution box. So this first one is where everything's hooked up. Second one is just an auxiliary one, so if I need to add more stuff, it's ready to go. And this is a jumble of wires to just go up. Little timer you can get on Amazon. These things work great. I got it set up to go off at 5:30 and kick on some lights for about 3 or 4 hours, and that just gives them a little bit of extra sun in the winter time if you're looking for egg production and stuff like that. Some people aren't. I like to have it lit up because it's extremely dark up here, especially at nighttime and even in the evenings because it's been getting dark around 5. So anyways, hey, if you guys learned something or like watching videos like this, like and subscribe. And I haven't put out a lot of videos. I don't know if anyone cares, but some people follow me. We've just been doing a lot of stuff like this, and this kind of stuff is not interesting. It's not interesting to me. I'm sure it's not interesting to other people. So I don't really like making videos of me doing simple, small farm chores like fixing things. I fix things every day, and that's what I've been doing a lot. So anyways, thanks for watching.